Senate Bill 533 by Senator Pan, an act relating to local government.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, today I bring to you SB 533, a bill that will impose a narrowly tailored prohibition on the use of the Bradley Burns tax rebates. The bill eliminates exceptions in current law that some businesses and local governments have been taking advantage of. It is becoming increasingly common practice for companies to pressure local agencies to provide a sales tax revenue rebate on the promise to book all sales from multiple sites with that local agency. There's a growing cottage industry of consultants who appear to specialize in helping companies pursue this strategy. However, this strategy is fundamentally unfair. When the sales tax revenue from commercial activity in one jurisdiction is booked in another, the local agency that is losing the sales tax revenue must continue to provide police and fire protection services to the company, since it is actually maintaining a physical presence within the territory of the local agency, and the local agency streets and other services are used and must be maintained. Making this practice even more nefarious, this is often done without the knowledge of the citizens, businesses, and employees within the jurisdiction of the local agency agreeing to the deal, and without any notice to the local agency that it is losing sales tax revenue as a result of the agreement. It was the legislature's intent that local sales tax be generated and expended in the same jurisdiction that happened. And I ask that you help me restore this by voting for SB 533 to close this loophole. Thank you. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Debate or discussion? Members, debate or discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen? Aye. Anderson? No. Bates? No. Bell? Aye. Berryhill? Block? Aye. Canella? Aye. De Leon? Aye. Fuller? No. Gaines? No. Galgiani? Hall? Hancock? Aye. Hernandez? Aye. Hertzberg? Aye. Hill? Aye. Hueso? Aye. Huff? No. Jackson? Aye. Lada? Aye. Leno? Aye. Leyva? Aye. Liu? Aye. McGuire? Aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mitchell? Aye. Monning? Aye. Morlock? Aye. Morrell? No. Wynn? No. Nielsen? No. Pan? Aye. Pavley? Roth? Aye. Runner? No. Stone? No. Vidak? No. Wachowski? Aye. Wolk? Wolk, aye.
Secretary, please call the absent members.
Berryhill? Galgiani? Hall? Galgiani, aye. Pavley?
Aye 25, no 11. The measure passes. File item 10, Senator Jackson, pass on file. Item number 11, Senator Wachowski, pass on file. Item number 12, Senator Mitchell, pass on file. Item number 13, Senator De Leon, not at his desk. Okay. Item 14, Senator Anderson. Senator Anderson, pass on file. Item 15, Senator Hernandez. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 485 by Senator Hernandez, an act relating to public sanitation.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, this bill is specific to the Sanitation District of Los Angeles County. It would expand their authority to allow them to assist local jurisdictions in Los Angeles County in stormwater and dry weather runoff management projects. The LA Regional Water Quality Control Board imposes water quality requirements on cities through the MS4 permits, and compliance is estimated to cost billions of dollars. Cities are seeking help to offset these costs. While this bill does not mandate participation by local jurisdictions, it does provide them a tool to comply with the stormwater permit requirement. This bill seeks to promote collaboration, as each project will be determined on a case-by-case basis and cost-effective flexibility across Los Angeles County regions. There are concerns about water rights that have been brought up, and I am committed to addressing these as we move forward, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. Bates. Bell. I. Berryhill. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. Fuller. I. Gaines. I. Galgioni. I. Hall. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Weso. I. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lada. I. Leno. I. Leyva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. Wynn. I. Nilsson. I. Pan. I. Pavley. Roth. I. Runner. I. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wachowski. Wolk. Wachowski, I. Wolk, I.
Secretary,
Anderson,
call the
I.
absentees.
Bates, I. Berryhill. De Leon. I. Hall. Morrell. I. Pavley.
Ayes 36, no 0. The measure passes. File item 16, Senator Canella. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 493 by Senator Canella, an act relating to elections.
Thank you, Mr. President. SB 493 permits cities to switch from at-large to by-district city elections by approving an ordinance. It's a loud mic there. And through an open and transparent public process. Over the last 10 years, cities utilizing at-large elections have been subject to a multitude of California Voting Rights Act lawsuits demanding they switch to district elections. And what happens is the council will agree, but by law, for general law cities, they have to go to a vote of the people. If the people vote it down, the city is then sued. They spend, in some cases, millions of dollars in legal fees, and then ultimately they either settle or the judge imposes district elections. So this just gives the cities the ability, as their representatives, to approve district elections. It's not a mandate. In fact, if the cities still want to go to a vote of the people, they can do that. It just gives them the ability to vote, to have district elections with a vote of the council. I think it will save the cities lots of money, and it will, I think, provide better government for the city. So with that, I request and I vote.
Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none. Is there any objection to the previous unanimous roll call? Yes. Secretary, call the roll.
Allen. Anderson. Bates. Bell. I. Berryhill. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. I. Galgioni. I. Hall. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Weso. I. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lada. I. Leno. I. Leyva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. Wynn. I. Nilsson. Pan. I. Pavley. Roth. Runner. Stone. Vidak. I. Wachowski. I. Wolk.
Secretary,
Wolk, aye.
call the absentees.
Allen. Anderson. No. Bates. Berryhill. De Leon. I. Fuller. I. Hall. Morrell. Nilsson. Pavley. Roth. I. Runner. Stone. No. Rel, no.
Ayes 29, noes 3. Measure passes. Item number 17, Senator Berryhill. Not at his desk. Item number 18, Senator Block. Please, Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 620 by Senator Block, an act relating to healing arts.
Thank you, Mr. President. SB 620 simplifies but does not reduce the number of supervised experience hours required for licensing for certain counseling professionals under the Board of Behavioral Sciences. The current hour requirements are so complex that applicants have difficulty fulfilling them, and the board has difficulty evaluating them, causing an application backlog. SB 620 will reduce these application processing delays and simplify the requirements for applicants to ensure that our trained counseling professionals can be licensed quickly and start working. The bill is sponsored by the Board of Behavioral Sciences and supported by the American Association for Marriage and Family Therapy, California Division, the California Association for Licensed Professional Clinical Counselors, and the National Association for Social Workers. No known opposition. The bills received unanimous bipartisan support in Business and Professions Committee. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Any debate or discussion, members? Seeing none, is there any objection to the unanimous roll call? Seeing none, ayes 36, noes 0, measure passes. Item number 19, Senator Mendoza. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 750 by Senator Mendoza, an act relating to English language education.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I'm here to present SB 750 as a technical cleanup bill that helps improve educational opportunities for English language learners and promotes biliteracy by addressing several issues identified by the California Department of Education staff upon their implementation of the State Seal of Biliteracy and Long-Term English Learner Statute. This bill is co-authored by the California Association of Bilingual Education, Californians Together, Superintendent of Public Instruction Tom Torlakson, and many more. SB 750 is supported by a number of education and immigration groups as well. SB 750 has no opposition and was passed with unanimous support in the Senate Education Committee. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none, is there any objection to using the unanimous roll call? Hearing none, ayes 36, noes 0. Measure passes. Item number 20, Senator Wolk. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 762 by Senator Wolk, an act relating to public contracts.
Thank you, Mr.
Please proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. 762 would establish a pilot program for counties to utilize something called best value when awarding construction contracts in excess of $1 million. A similar pilot program was enacted for the University of California by SB 835, which I authored in 2011. The study showed that not only were was this project produced at best value, but was more efficient, and the change orders were fewer, 6% lower compared to other projects. This will allow counties to select the contractors on the basis of criteria in addition to price, with the resulting selection representing the best combination of price and qualifications. The qualifications, of course, need to include relevant experience, labor compliance, safety, and financial record and conditions. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion? Senator Morlock.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a question for the author of the bill, going through the
Yes,
chair.
of course. Yes.
This bill creates a new crime, and I was wondering if you could elaborate on that.
I'm sorry, I don't
It says,
understand that.
my briefing says that this bill creates a new crime, and I'm wondering, I couldn't, in my reading material, find what that related to, other than having to sign a statement under perjury.
There are important criteria that relate to fraud in awarding in this process, and we may have tightened some of them, but I'm sorry, I don't remember creating a new crime and a new punishment in the bill.
Senator Stone.
Thank you, Mr. President. By the way, you're doing an excellent job, I might add today. I rise to respectively oppose SB 762. Being in local government, I'm a believer in choosing the lowest responsible bidder. After all, we're spending taxpayer money, and I'm just bewildered that we would use the term best value because it could be interpreted in so many different ways. I want to make sure that when somebody comes to counties or cities or states and gives a bid, that it is the bid that is taken into consideration. Again, we're playing with taxpayer money. We should be spending it wisely. And for those reasons, I respectfully would have to urge a no vote on SB 762.
Thank you, Senator Stone. Any other discussion or debate? Senator Hancock.
Yeah, thank you, Senator Gaines. I urge an aye vote on this. I'm delighted to see it. I don't sit on the particular committee, but have been so concerned with our procurement process and the fact that we are often forced to take a low bid that isn't a best value bid. I hope that local governments will take advantage of this, that they will ask contractors for past performance records, whether projects were completed on time, on budget, whether there were any lawsuits connected with them. I think this is actually a great step forward for rebuilding our state's infrastructure. Would ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Hancock. Any other discussion or debate? Seeing none, Senator Wolk, would you like to close?
Yes, I would. As I said, this has been tried in a pilot program with the University of California. And when we do design build, and when we have done design build through the legislature, and I've taken a lot of those bills, there's always been a study to make certain that the results match the promise. In this particular case, the best value, there were 31 best value bids from over a period of 3 years at the University of California from 2012 through 2015. In the majority of bid competitions, the bidder determined by the university to offer the most quality also bid the lowest amount. And most important, the change orders were lower than bid projects of similar project complexity. We all know that contractors often put in low bids and then bring forward a tremendous number of change orders. That bedevils the original budget and makes counties and cities, the agencies don't really have the option of stopping the project. They have to pay. This is proven through this study to be of value. Let's try it now with counties in a pilot program. I ask for your aye vote.
Great. Thank you, Senator Wolk. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen? Anderson? No. Bates? No. Bell? Aye. Berryhill? Block? Aye. Cannella? Aye. De Leon? Aye. Fuller? No. Gaines? No. Galgioni? Aye. Hall? Hancock? Aye. Hernandez? Aye. Hertzberg? Aye. Hill? Aye. Wesso? Aye. Huff? Jackson? Aye. Lada? Aye. Leno? Aye. Leva? Aye. Liu? Aye. McGuire? Aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mitchell? Aye. Monning? Aye. Morlock? Morrell? No. Wynn? No. Nielsen? No. Pan? Aye. Pavley? Roth? Aye. Runner? No. Stone? No. Vidak? No. Wachowski? Aye. Wolk? Wolk, aye.
Secretary, call the absentees.
Allen? Aye. Berryhill? Hall? Huff? No. Morlock? No. Pavley?
Ayes 24, noes 12. Measure carries. Item number 21, Senator Fuller. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 110 by Senator Fuller, an acroling to threats.
Good morning, Mr. Chairperson, President, and members. Thank you for the opportunity to present Senate Bill 110 relating to electronic threats and school safety. If an electronic threat is likely to interfere with the activities of the campus or facilities, whether the electronic threat is via social media, email, texting, or other electronic acts, SB 110 would make such a threat a misdemeanor. I began working with the Bakersfield Police Department, the sponsor of SB 110, and the Kern County District Attorney's Office after an incident occurred at Liberty High School in Bakersfield in October of 2014. A student made a threat of violence via a social media app that spread like wildfire. Boy, sorry. I guess nobody noticed, though. It's probably all right. It's all good. Wildfire. It's all good.
Yes.
Officials were unable to charge the individual responsible for this threat. These types of threats are currently not covered in the California Penal Code because the threats made by electronic means, such as social media and other apps, are not made directly to a person or a school, but rather to social media followers and the rest of the internet population. Sadly, threats of this nature are becoming more and more popular. Roughly 30% of violent threats made against schools were delivered through social media, email, text messaging, and other electronic means from August 2013 to January 2014. As a result, the school and community have to expend considerable resources to investigate and mitigate for the effects of the threat. And students feel very unsafe in this environment, and their learning environment is disrupted. No student should have to feel as afraid as the students at Liberty High felt when this happened. SB 110 will protect our children and hold individuals accountable who have stricken fear and confusion into our classrooms. I ask for your aye vote.
Great, thank you. Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none, is there any objection to the unanimous roll call? Hearing none, ayes 36, no 0. Measure passes. Thank you, Senator Fuller. Item number 22, Senator Block. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 197 by Senator Block, an act relating to finance lenders.
Thank you, Mr. President. Many of my constituents who own small businesses have come to my office and raised concern about a lack of capital to sustain and grow their companies. You've probably heard similar complaints from some of your constituents. According to small business lending experts, referrals are the single most efficient way for commercial lenders to acquire and serve small business customers. Currently, a licensed finance lender is prohibited from paying any compensation to any unlicensed person or company for soliciting or accepting applications for loans. SB 197 will authorize licensed finance lenders who make responsible commercial loans to pay referral fees to those from whom they receive business. This will help responsible California commercial lenders get the word out to small businesses about financially sound loans so they can be used in sustaining and growing California small businesses. SB 197 is co-sponsored by the Opportunity Fund and the California Association of Micro Enterprise Opportunity, and it's supported by 24 other organizations, including Small Business California, the National Federation of Independent Business, the California Asian Pacific Chamber of Commerce, the California Black Chamber of Commerce, California Disabled Veteran Business Alliance, and it goes on. The bills received unanimous bipartisan support in committee. There is no known opposition.
Great, thank you, Senator Block. Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none, if there's any objection to us taking up a unanimous roll call, hearing none, 36-0. Item 23, Senator Block.
Go ahead.
Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 213 by Senator Block, an act relating to juries.
Thank you, Mr. President. Due to recent budget cuts, the courts have significantly been impacted, cut their operational budgets, laid off personnel, and closed entire courtrooms and courthouses. Passage of Proposition 47 has made the matter only worse with additional resentencing hearings. One way to help the courts to be more efficient while preserving justice is to modestly reduce the number of peremptory challenges that California allows during the jury selection process. SB 213 reduces the number of peremptories in misdemeanor trials, only misdemeanor trials, from 10 to 6 per side. Now, California currently allots more peremptory challenges for misdemeanor cases than 47 other states. These other states average 2 to 4 challenges per case. The excessive number of peremptory challenges that California allows frequently makes jury selection the longest part of a misdemeanor trial. By decreasing the number of jury challenges, fewer jurors will need to be called for service at misdemeanor trials. This will shorten the jury selection process and also reduce trial time. It will increase juror satisfaction and allow jurors to return to work more quickly. With fewer jurors needed to be called in and those who do get called in returning to work more quickly, public and private employers will save millions of dollars in California. Members, SB 213 will help the courts work more efficiently, respond to the economic needs of California employers while ensuring that justice is preserved. It's co-sponsored by the California Judges Association and the Judicial Council and is supported by many Superior Court judges all up and down the state. The bill is also supported by several district attorneys' offices, including those from San Diego, San Francisco, and San Mateo counties. The bill received bipartisan support in the Senate Public Safety. Ask for your aye vote.
Great, thank you, Senator Block. Any debate or discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. I. Bates. Bell. Bates, I. Bell, I. Berryhill. Block. I. Cannella. I. De Leon. I. Fuller. I. Gaines.
Aye.
I. Galgioni. I. Hall. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. Hill. I. Hueso. I. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lada. I. Leno. No. Leva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. I. Nielsen. Pan. I. Pavley. Roth. I. Runner. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, aye. Nielsen, aye.
Call the absentees.
Berryhill. Hall. Hertzberg. I. Pavley. Runner.
Ayes 34, noes 1, measure passes. Item number 24, Senator Hancock. Pass on file. Item number 25, Senator Pavley, not at her desk. Item number 26, Senator Block. You're busy today. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 352 by Senator Block, enacting to elder abuse.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is an easy one. SB 352 extends the use of post-conviction criminal protective orders that are currently used to protect victims of domestic violence and stalking cases to victims of elder abuse. Extending these protections to victims of elder abuse, especially those victims whose perpetrators are released on probation or parole, is consistent with California's special consideration and protection for elder adults. This bill is sponsored by the San Diego County District Attorney and supported by the Association of Deputy District Attorneys, the California State Sheriff's Association, California Advocates for Nursing Home Reform, and the California Retired Teachers Association. There's no known opposition, and the bill received unanimous bipartisan support in Senate Public Safety. Ask for your aye vote.
Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none, is there any objection to using a unanimous roll call? Seeing none, 36-0, measure passes. Item 27, Senator Pan. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 453 by Senator Pan, enacting to prisons.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, SB 453 allows a treating psychiatrist working on a patient who is incompetent to stand trial the ability to request another psychiatrist to place an involuntary medication order. The newly designed non-treating psychiatrist must be assigned by the Department of State's Hospital State Medical Director, must be briefed by the treating psychiatrist on the relevant facts of the case, and must have a face-to-face examination with the patient. The treating psychiatrist will remain the main and preferred psychiatrist, but can request another psychiatrist if he or she feels endangered or if his or her relationship with the patient could be jeopardized through a mandatory medication. This bill is intended to reduce the number of injuries that the Department of State hospitals has been noticing an increase in after treating psychiatrist testifies in front of the patient at an involuntary medication order hearing. SB 453 ensures worker safety while allowing access to needed medication. This bill has received bipartisan support, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Any debate or discussion? Seeing none, members, is there any objection to using a unanimous roll call? Ayes 36, no 0. Measure passes. File item 28, Senator Block. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 456 by Senator Block, an acronym to criminal threats.
Thank you, Mr. President. SB 456 is similar to Senator Fuller's bill she read earlier, a bit more narrow and specific in terms of what it prohibits, but it also addresses the issue of school safety and the issue of threats being made to schools, particularly threats that are anonymous threats at first, but during investigation we can find out who made the threats. Even if the threats aren't directed to a particular person and don't cause particular anxiety in a particular individual, this bill, SB 456, would make those threats misdemeanors. Right now, you have to have a particular individual who's threatened, but the broad threat to a school, as we know, can result in tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars of expense because schools close down, because police officers, SWAT teams come to the school site, even if a threat turns out to be false. In addition, students lose time on task in terms of their education. Businesses nearby sometimes need to close. Parents and other members of the community are put through undue anxiety. So this type of threat is something that needs to be prevented, and the district attorneys tell us that this is a bill that will give them the tools they need to prosecute these threats, and perhaps more importantly, to discourage or encourage parents to discourage their sons and daughters from making any kinds of threats like this. SB 456 passed with unanimous bipartisan support out of Senate Public Safety. It's sponsored by the San Diego County District Attorney, Bonnie Dumanis. And the robust support of this bill also includes the California DA's Association, the California State Sheriff's Association, PORAC, ALADS, and many others. Ask for your aye vote.
Great. Thank you, Senator Block. Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none. Members, is there any objection to using a unanimous roll call? Seeing none, ayes 36, no 0. Measure passes. File item 29, Senator Pan. Please read.
Senate Bill 530 by Senator Pan, an acronym to vehicles.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I rise to present SB 530, a measure that will define pedal-powered pedicabs in statute and establish minimum safety requirements to allow these businesses to operate successfully. Pedal-powered pedicabs are multi-passenger bicycles that rely solely on human power for their momentum. This is a relatively new activity in our state that is green and safe, as evidenced by the success of these small businesses. These businesses currently operate in Sacramento, San Diego, Santa Monica, Palm Springs, and Long Beach, but have been operating in other states and around the world for more than a decade. However, California does not have uniform regulations governing the operation and safety requirements of these vehicles. As a result, new small businesses have struggled and have even been prevented from operating due to regulatory absence, confusion, and limitation. Multiple pedal-powered operators have gone out of business already due to overregulation by cities that have never encountered these types of vehicles before. SB 530 will provide regulatory clarity and uniformity, as well as minimum safety standards that lend themselves to successful operation. SB 530 would require municipalities to pass a local ordinance permitting the operation of these vehicles and designate a local transportation authority to inspect the vehicles. Municipalities can choose to expand on these provisions and designate where they are permitted to operate. SB 530 would facilitate an innovative small businesses to grow in California while ensuring that all public safety standards are met. I thank you for your consideration. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Great. Thank you, Senator Pan. Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. I. Bates. I. Bell. Berryhill. Block. I. Cannella. I. De Leon. I. Fuller. I. Gaines.
Aye.
I. Galgiani. I. Hall. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. Hueso. Huff. Wetzel. I. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lara. I. Leno. I. Leba. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. Morrell. I. Wynn. I. Nielsen. I. Pan. I. Pavley. Roth. I. Runner. I. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wachowski. I. Wolk.
Secretary, call the absentees.
Bell. Berryhill. Hall. Hill. I. Morlock. I. Pavley. Wolk. Aye.
Ayes 35, no 0. Measure passes.